What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Aldern, Maine. Thanks for tuning in to part 2 of our Hammerform steel Constellation model guitar. If you didn't see the first part, we'll put a link to that one. For this episode, I'd like to get the neck pocket tacked in to the right height on this guitar. I'd also like to build some inner structure forms for it, so once it's all welded together, you can't kind of squish it, if that's the word, squish it. And we'll get some side pieces made. We'll see how far we get on part 2. So as I mentioned in part 1, we're going to be using a post bridge from Schroeder. Again, I still don't know how to pronounce that. It's probably Schroeder. Probably Schrader, I don't know. And they come with these posts just like most do. And what I'd like to do is have it so that this bottom piece here is recessed all the way down flush with this body so that I can get this bridge to basically sit just as it is. Usually they're sitting up and they are adjustable to come up, but I'd like it to start out at its lowest point so I can hopefully have no neck angle. And then also I'll have to find a similar piece to this that it threads into that's steel so that I can weld it into the back side. So we got a bottom piece that I have to trim a little bit in order to fit some of the wackiness of these dips here. You can see this gap here. I'll have to trim here and here. Mostly going to concentrate on the inner structure. I think what I'm probably going to do is some kind of a box that is the right height to fasten to this and the bottom piece on the inside where the two humbuckers are right here. And then we'll drill some holes in the sides for wires to go through and maybe to lighten it up. And then we'll have the post bridge somewhere around there. So I'm thinking maybe just a couple gussets coming down just to keep the bridge from being able to flex, and maybe tie it in to the neck pocket as well, just to give the whole thing some rigidity. Yeah, that's the plan. So I've got this neck pocket down to 5/8, which is a pretty standard depth. Usually you go a little deeper these days because they have been making neck heels a little bit deeper. I also have a center line. That's why I wanted this piece to be so long, just so I could follow a center line all the way down the guitar. Definitely nervous about that part, but that's really important that that neck pocket is just good. Otherwise this whole thing is shot. But it's sweet. I'm pretty happy with it, man. You can already get a taste of what it's going to look like. Seeing that neck on there is really good to see. Just tacked on there. I'm a little reluctant to weld it totally just in case I do need a little bit of a neck angle. Well, I'm really happy about how the neck pocket turned out. We're going to keep going. I got to trim off all that excess metal that was on there, and then we'll make an inner structure to get the thickness set of the whole guitar, and then we can build the outside walls. Okay, so we've got our neck pocket mostly welded in. Some of it was hard to get to. If you see something that I've done that you think I could have done in a better order or differently, comment below. I'm open for it. I don't know what I'm doing. But anywho, so this is going to be the thickness of the guitar. I've got my core, main core in here. I'm probably going to do another one down here. And this needs to kind of flatten out a little bit. I've got some holes for some wiring. I can put a rubber grommet in there. I'll probably tack this some more, but penetration burned through there. That's good. And I didn't want to weld anything on the inside of the neck, so I didn't have to grind it out. So it's all done on the inside where you won't see it. And my main plan is to get all these sides, including like this, the bottom edge, if I've made it the right. Let's check that right now. I still need to trim this piece for the dips, but you can kind of get an idea of what I'm going for once it's all hammered out and sanded out. And we'll do that all the way around. Everything will be welded to the front, as you see here. The last thing to get put on will be this. I'll plug these holes first and mark all the core edges on here, drill tiny holes so that I can plug weld to that, and that'll be the last piece to go on. Once I've got my edge piece on here, then we'll cut this out, as well as on the bottom edge that's on here, and we'll make a stencil to put that on. So far, Jamie happy, me likey. Okay, so I've got a couple bolts going through the holes. You can kind of see some of the inner structure there inside, trying to get it clamped together to see how thick I need to cut, or wide I need to cut my pieces to fill this in. Got the bottom piece already here. I just need these lines here that I scribed with Sharpie to grind those down in order to fit right here. And I'll weld this bottom piece onto the front. Like I said, nothing's gonna weld to the back yet. We'll just kind of work our way around, see how far I can get. I can only work on this thing when either my wife is home or my son is napping. But here we go. Okay, well, we got our bottom piece welded on to just the front of the guitar. There's a few pinholes to tack weld up still, and definitely some shaping and massaging with some little sanding wheels, but I'm going to wait probably till most of this is welded up in the front to get all that fine stuff done. It is obviously going to be a heavier guitar, but it's not that bad so far. I'm pleasantly surprised. Plus all these cavities have to come out, so some weight will get taken out. Pretty cool. So one thing I've been wondering about this thing is, once I get it all wired up, being that it is all steel, is it going to ground out and, well, for one, ground out, but I guess, is it going to shock you? I don't think so. I think it's going to be just fine wired up normally with the bridge grounded, but we'll see. Be sure to comment below on anything you might like to see with this guitar. I could do better, because I am planning on doing a second one after this. Thanks for joining me on Alder in Maine. We'll see you next time on part 3.